Hi English students, this is your instructor, and I want us to go over the research paper. That's the next paper we'll start for this class. So I'm going to go over the topic sheet and how to do a works cited page, in-text citations, and how to find academic sources online. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know because this is a lot of information all in one video. A research paper requires outside sources of information, so that could come from books, articles, videos, interviews. I'm not really worried about the format of the source, just as long as it's a reliable source. But you use those outside sources to fully argue a stance on a particular topic. Every source that is utilized must have both an in-text citation attached to the sentence that has the source's information. So an example would be Bowden 45. That would be the last name of the author's Bowden, and then it came from page 45. So not only will you have that in-text citation, which is the information in the parentheses, but you'll also need a works cited page. And you'll need a citation on that works cited page. So I'll show you an example one in a moment. This research paper must include at least two outside sources, so just two sources. If you can find one interview and one article, that would suffice. It just depends on the source that or the information you're researching on what type of sources you'll be able to find. But if you need help finding sources or citing sources, just let me know. I'm happy to help you through this process. The rough draft is going to be due Wednesday, June 23rd by midnight in discussions, and that's for peer review. Submitting that rough draft is going to count as the daily grade attendance for that week. And then your final draft is due 1 week later. That would be Wednesday, June 30th by midnight in the content area of Blackboard. That'll also count as your daily grade and attendance. And just to let you know, that rough draft can be rough. It could be incomplete. It might be missing your works cited page. But whatever you have done at that point, please submit it for peer review, because that way your classmates can help give you some feedback on it. If you do have your works cited page finished, they might even be able to help you with some formatting, give you tips on ways to improve it, because just know that whatever you get fixed early on in that writing process is something that I won't be able to catch for your final draft grading. So it's smart to go ahead and do as much as possible for that rough draft, but if you do just have a few paragraphs done, go ahead and submit those, so that way I can see how you're progressing through this process and your classmates can help you out by giving you feedback. This is essentially an open topic research paper, so choose a topic that you're interested in learning more about, because the more interested the writer is in the topic, the more interesting it'll be to read for the reader. So know that you can choose most topics for this. So we're going to do a topic proposal for this as well. So I'll be able to give you feedback on your topic. But just know that you have plenty of options on this. So choose something that you're very interested in, not just your basic topic that you might just be researching just for the assignment. Choose something that intrigues you, that you want to know more about. The research paper should be at least 1,000 words in length. That is a minimum. If you go over 1,000 words, that's fine. Some students get into their topics and next thing they know, they have a 1,400 word essay. That's fine. I don't count off for going over the word count. Just make sure you meet that 1,000 words though, because I will count off if you do not meet 1,000 words. And know that the works cited page does count towards your word count as well. For formatting, it's the same formatting as your first essay. It's 12-point Times New Roman font, double space with MLA heading and style. And just remember, the Seagull book has a really good example on page 161 of what a formatted paper looks like. You will have to have a works cited page for this paper. That's something that's different from your first essay. The works cited page is going to give credit to all the outside sources you use. So if you didn't know the information before you started researching, you found information on a website or a book, you have to give that author credit. Otherwise, it's plagiarism, and that's academic theft of ideas, essentially. So just make sure you have that works cited page. You will get counted off quite a bit if you do not have a works cited page for this. So I'm going to refer to our textbook for an example works cited page. Page 168 in the Seagull textbook has a really good example. Of course, you won't have this many citations because this is for a major research project, but just imagine there's a couple of citations on here. Notice it starts with a works cited title and it's centered. Also notice the citations are in alphabetical order and are double spaced. The second and third lines have an indentation. It's called the hanging indent. If you have any questions about how to create the hanging indent in Word, I can help you out with that because some students have a little trouble finding it in Word. So those are really important things to remember about the works cited page. If you need help citing a source, if you're not really sure how to cite it, not only can you ask me, but our textbook has a lot of great examples on how to do citations. So notice around page 144, they start doing anthologies, databases, and a regular book. They've got how to do a multi-volume work. I mean, there's so many examples. They even have how to cite a YouTube video. There's so many examples, how to do interviews and cite those. So pretty much if you find a source, there's a really good chance there's a citation example in that Siegel textbook. But if you need help, I can help you cite the source. So just make sure you go ahead and ask me and don't just like skip citing it, because it will be scanned with anti-plagiarism software and I'll know if you've used outside sources and didn't cite them. So you will need to have a works cited page for this paper. Not only will you need the works cited page, but I referenced it earlier that you'll need the in-text citation, and that's information that goes in the parentheses at the end of a quote or any information you didn't know before researching. So for an example in-text citation, page 123 has some really good examples of how to do it with an author and a page number. McCullough would be the author in the situation, and the page number is 18, and that shows the formatting of how that looks with an in-text citation. But say you find something on a website. A lot of students use online sources that would not have any page numbers, and sometimes they don't even have an author listed. So if they don't have a page number, you don't have to list the page number, but if there is an author unknown, a lot of our web pages, for some reason, they won't list the author, but it might be from a very reputable source, like biography or history or like History Channel. So if that's the case, use number 7 on page 125 as an example. You would use the title of the article in quotation marks if you don't know the author or don't have the page number. And there's a lot of examples in here on how to cite. So they even have how to cite for 2 or more authors, 3 or more authors. There's just so many good examples. So definitely scroll through your Siegel book as you're doing this research paper. So they have so many different examples based off what you're citing. So let's go back to our topic sheet. So the research paper is open topic, but the topic must be proposed in discussions by midnight on Wednesday, June 16th. And I'm going to look through all of these topic proposals, give you thorough feedback on them. If you need help choosing a different topic or reorganizing your ideas, I'll let you know early on, so that way you don't start doing a whole lot of research and then find out that your topic might not be researchable, essentially. So I usually approve topics. I mean, there's very few topics I've not approved in the past. I'd say 90% of them get approved. But I just want to know for sure that you have a good topic early on in the writing process so that you don't waste your valuable time and efforts. Your final draft does have a late submission rule. Make sure that you turn it in on time because it is 10 points off every day late. All of your final drafts are going to be graded using the English 101 grading rubric that's on the Getting Started page of Blackboard, and it will be scanned with anti-plagiarism software, and that's especially important to know for this assignment because you are using outside sources. So just make sure you give credit to every source that you use. So if you use 3 articles, go ahead and cite 3 articles. And you can have more than the 2 outside sources. I have up at the top that you have to have at least 2, but of course, just like with the word count, if you go over that amount of sources, that's fine. I certainly am not going to count off if you do a little extra work on this. So I have an area for brainstorming and outlining at the bottom. If you'd like to use that, that's optional. And now I want to show you guys some of the databases that the college has access to on the Wallace main page. So this is wallace.edu. We'll go to Campus Life and Resources, and I need you to go down to Library, and that's right here. Our library has access to so many resources. And there's all this information about the library, anything you could ever want to know about the library. But I want us to take a look at LRC databases. On here, we've got access to Alabama Virtual Library, the the ebook collection, JSTOR. Those are some of the most popular ones. Alabama Virtual Library, a lot of students have used that in high school, so I do want to do a quick refresher on that. If you go to college and university, and there's all these databases, there's a million databases, but I would say EBSCOhost is one of the most helpful that I've found just for general topics. And then you would type your search right up here at the top. I'm just gonna do an easy one. Shakespeare. That would be one of my favorite topics to research. So say if I want to use this article, I would click into it and then do the PDF full text for the article. And that would pull up the entire article. So I could read over this and use some information from there. To email it to yourself, you just click this little envelope, and that way you'll have access to it later on, so you're not wondering what sources you pulled information from. You have it all in your email. This little nifty thing right here, you can click Cite. It's this little yellow page, and it has the citation done for you for your Works Cited page. You just scroll down to MLA 8th edition. You can copy and paste this into your Works Cited page, and you've had your citation done for you, essentially. Also notice whatever the citation starts with, it's going to go in that parentheses in your in-text citation. So just make sure you pay attention to the first part of the Works Cited entry, because that would go in your parentheses. So for instance, if I was citing this in in-text, it would be Gallimore, and then say if I pulled from page 3, it would be Gallimore 3, and then the end of the parentheses. So that's just some nifty little tips. And they have the citation tool in all the databases. EBSCOhost is really helpful. Another really good one on AVL is Gale Power Search. And that one is right. See, there's so many Gale options. Just want to show you what that looks like. Here it is. Gale Power Search is another really good one for AVL. So I just wanted to show you guys those, and then I would recommend that Alabama Virtual Library, Wallace's ebook collection is also great, and then JSTOR if you're researching an author. JSTOR has a lot of literary sources. So I just wanted to show you guys the academic sources you have access to as Wallace students, but if you have any questions about the databases or how to research using them, please let me know. I'm always here to help you guys out. And also just let me know if you have any questions about this research paper. I'm happy to help at any point in this writing process. Also, don't forget you have access to the Writing Center tutors. They are very happy to help you either through online appointments or in person on campus. So either way, I hope you guys have a wonderful time researching your topic. Choose a topic you're really interested in, because I'm looking forward to reading what you want to know more about. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.